Peace, infinite blessings, and welcome to another episode of Together We Rise. Any of you listening who understand the interpretation that I was just delivering, make sure that you watch the entirety of this video, because about halfway through I'm going to actually bring some information about Infinite Waters and what he is doing and the way that I now view him. I want to talk all about the journey to enlightenment and the egoic concept or defiance of that journey, and the truth that if somebody believes themselves egoless, that in truth the ego is hidden and they're more egotistical than ever before. Look at me and all my gold awards. Nothing more need be said until we actually venture further into the journey. So let's begin through carrying on from last week's episode. If you've not watched last week's, it's all about Frankenstein's monster and the parts. And then through the integration of those parts, the ability to experience enlightenment. If you didn't watch last week's episode, pause the video here, make sure you subscribe to the channel, highlight it, put it into a watch later folder, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff, and go back and watch last week's episode, because it was recorded in a one continual free flow, but it got to an hour long and it felt more beneficial to actually record a second introduction, which is this, and then separate the video into two parts to allow for the integration to be taken over a longer period of time, to allow for that information to be fully processed and utilized and absorbed and all that delicious goodness. So let's break it down. Having a capability to break stuff down is the way that I work. And likened to Frankenstein's monster, if we can break down each part and understand where it comes from originally, then we have a better understanding and way of accepting it. To know when somebody acts out of a place of limitation, reacting, that they are just reacting through that old program. Doesn't mean anything about them as a person. It's not their fault. They're doing the best they can do with the information that they have to bring themselves safety, security, and potentially some form of happiness. Not their fault. It really is not. And again, I've done videos on this, as well as every other aspect of creation and interpretation of it, to know that it is all within the mind and that nothing you experience is separate to it. But you can separate from it. And then you're home. So it is time to blow the channel up. It's time to start to reach people on a global scale, because this information is very fucking powerful, and it's about time that more people heard it. So please share the video. Please, I'm asking you, share the video with the people that you know it will assist. Share it on your page, share it on your Facebook page, share it on your Instagram page, wherever it is, however you go about distributing it. Distribute this information as wide a field as possible to allow as many people as possible to benefit from it. Humbly and eternally grateful to you for that. Thank you. To exist in enlightenment is to exist in a state of acceptance of all that is, was, or ever shall be within the light. To exist is simply to exist. It doesn't mean to do, it doesn't mean to act, it doesn't mean to create or achieve. It means to exist. I'm reconnecting to that most simplistic form of existence. That without there is nothing. Without the breath, life ceases to be. There is no more experience, there is no more existence. To exist in full acceptance of everything that is, was, or ever shall be. To fully accept the past, to fully accept the present, and to fully accept the future. Knowing that, again, it is all only happening and taking place within the mind, and it is only your interpretation of it. The way that you interpret me is dependent on your lenses of perception. Some people love me, some people hate me. Either way, it's all good. I'm acting in the way that I am. I'm creating my play with myself in true alignment with who I am. And whatever character I represent in your story, in your play, I am acting accordingly. If somebody has wronged you in the past, they played the character that they needed to play in your life perfectly to allow you to learn and to grow from that situation. If you're still stuck in it, they hurt me, poor me. If you're still there, then that is up to you to take those learnings, to transcend it, to overcome it, to separate from it and to release it back to the universe as energy. Likened to a river, if you hold on to something, it will become stagnant and defiant, stop a flow, and it becomes hostile and detrimental to all the life forms within it. By letting it go, return to the flow. So beautiful. And it is all only taking place in your mind. A memory of the past is taking place in your mind, nowhere else. It's not happening right here, right now, is it? It's only there. And the way you remember it is completely up to you. So you can actually go about taking learnings from the past to turn negative situations or traumatic events into uplifting and positive and evolutionary aspects of your journey. Again, that's what I do with the clients on a one-on-one level, and it would be an absolute honour and privilege to work with you, because the depth of information that I'm able to process and deliver is second to none. It truly is. I don't understand where it comes from. I don't know how I do what I do, but I benefit from it as much as you. As we continue to evolve and expand the self. Again, now is happening only in the mind. It's your interpretation of energy vibrating, and the future is your projection of it and your desire or want to control it. And again, it's only happening in the mind. Accept it all. Accept when the negative thought comes in, I accept that and let it go. Accept the negatives of old, I accept that and let it go. Accept if you're cold, accept if you're frustrated, accept if you're angry. Because if you tried to deny it, again, that part, Frankenstein's monster part, will go, oh, why aren't I justified in feeling angry? What's that, devil? You're angry? Well, fuck you, get away. You don't exist. Yes, I do, fuck you. I know I'm being a little bit sporadic here, but this makes sense, and it all goes back to the inner child. The part of you that was told you're stupid, you're worthless, shut up, your opinion doesn't matter, until it hears, I love you, your opinion matters, you're worthy. I acknowledge, accept and integrate you in completion. Until it hears that, it will always be that defiant part of you that wants to cause conflict. Because it's what it knows, it's what it's used to, it's what it's existed in. You put something in the darkness and it lives in the darkness, it's going to be pretty pissed off and traumatized. Not until you let it out and integrate it back into the self will it be free. Full acceptance of everything that is, was, or ever shall be, only then will you truly be free. To accept it all and to exist within the light. Then you are existing in acceptance of everything within the light, you are experiencing and living in enlightenment. To exist within the light. Well, I am the light. Everything I do is within the light. Just because I cannot see the sun does not mean it is not shining. At night time, as it is dark now, between the start and now where we are in this video, being really far in, we are now in darkness. It was light, now it's dark. But I know the sun's still shining. I know I just can't see it or perceive it. Therefore, I'm always within the light, because the light within me, which shines from the center of my being, outside and within, the light that I bring in, integrate and shine through me to you, to allow it to be mirrored upon you back to me, that light is always there. The light within you is brighter than even 1,000 suns. Therefore you are the light, therefore you are always within the light. Therefore all you need to do is accept it all. Accept all the parts, all the voices, all the aspects, all the other people. Especially Karen. Give extra love to Karen. Extra love. Extra space, extra acceptance, because people acting from a place of insecurity, people who are hostile, people who are angry, require that love and acceptance and appreciation even more so. Everything is energy vibrating at different frequencies. Everything can be likened to water. If there is a block of ice, it appears very separate to that water. You shine enough love upon it, enough warmth, enough heat, enough light, and it will melt, returning back to the ocean. beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful image. Thank you. To exist in a state of enlightenment is to exist in an acceptance state within the light. But first of all, we must venture through the darkness to discover the parts of the self lost and fragmented there. Okay, integrate them back into the self, integrate them back into the self. So, when a traumatic event takes place, when we experience something fearful or negative, basically the subconscious mind's job, along with the egoic perspective of self, is to protect and serve the body. Without the body, there is no self. Without the egoic self, there is no perception of self. So the ego is required. It is necessary. If you try and kill it, it will defy you. And you will actually get to a place where you're more egoically driven and controlled, but it's hidden itself in plain sight to elude you to the fact of its existence, because it's done everything it can to remain in existence, to keep itself safe. So it mimics and actually goes about projecting itself to be non-existent. People that believe themselves to be egoless have the biggest egos in existence. Ralph Smart, Infinite Waters, I'm looking at you, my brother, because you used to create very authentically beautiful stuff. Now you're all about, look at me and my gold awards and all my fucking shit, and come on models, come and represent me and come and sit on my face. That's basically what you're now saying to people. Ego? Ego much? I don't know. Ego. Accept it. Whatever it. I don't mind. You're doing a great job. You're delivering information to people, and I love you and thank you and respect you and honour you, admire you for that. Check yourself. That's it. So, when that happens, when a traumatic event happens, somebody comes along and calls you stupid because you've stood up and expressed yourself freely. Moment, current situation. When you go out freely through choice about the way you present yourself, whether it be covering yourself or not, if somebody comes up to you and is hostile and puts their opinion upon you and makes you feel small and ridiculed, you will then perceive that to be negative. You will then act accordingly, and that part of you that existed in freedom, let's say, you will take it and you will put that voice in a box and push it away in the darkness so it doesn't whisper to you, so you can't hear it. So next time you go out and you cover yourself up, you feel justified in doing so. It's better, it's easier. It's easier to cover myself up. Causes less conflict. I can't hear that part of me anymore. So it's good. I'm going to go ahead and just follow everybody else. So you've locked away the part of yourself that wishes to exist as a free and sovereign being. And in doing so, you've locked away all the potential that is housed within that part. Take it back to childhood. You experienced something traumatic. This is what was mine. I sung and expressed myself vocally, very femininely. La 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 la, I'm singing like a girl. And my dad turned round in the car and said, what the fuck are you doing, you little faggot, shut up. Fucking hell, man. I died. Part of me died. Part of me was so wounded and traumatized that my subconscious mind took it, put it in the darkness and threw it to the very depths of the ocean. Not until I calmed and quieted the mind, quieting the oceans of existence within the self, was I able to actually bring an awareness that that part even existed. Not until I ventured into the darkness did I find that part. Did I go back and reevaluate, reanalyze, look at it from an alternative perspective and go, it's just his opinion. It doesn't defy me. My actions defy me. My actions now, not what I did in the past, who I choose to be in the present, the gift of this present moment. And then I act accordingly. Integrate all those parts, face those parts, and actually realise that within it is the very potential to experience your dreams that you would otherwise never be able to experience because you are never going to be complete without venturing into the darkness and integrating those parts back into the self. Okay? It's fucking traumatic. It's scary, it's heavy, it's repressive work. But without it, you will never be free and you'll never be complete. You won't complete yourself with somebody else, any sort of external situation, or experience by going about creating, achieving. I've got all the money, but I don't feel complete. Because you're not. Integration of all parts of the self by going and venturing into the darkness. And again, this is what I do. I guide you. If you go on a journey through the rainforest, through the jungle, you take a guide who lives there, he's walked there before, who knows the terrain, who knows the potential dangers, and is able to lead and guide you upon that journey to the destination with him. I will guide you all the way, but it's you that will have to walk the path. I will gift you the fucking key, but it's you that will have to pick it up and use it to open that door. And I'm not carrying people anymore. I've done that. I'm done. If you're not prepared to do the work yourself, then I wish you all the best, all my love. Somebody else is there for you. I'm here to do a very, very large amount of expansive work, and I am vibrating and only attracting people on that same frequency. There's a lot of people at the moment that are stepping off because it's getting too heavy. I'm at the front, and I will continue to be so no matter what it takes. I have dedicated myself to this mission, to this cause. I have surrendered my very being to the evolution of the self and everybody else. I'm here to change the fucking fundamentals of this reality, of this world, because it has gone too far the wrong way, and it's time to bring it back into alignment. So we're just balancing out the equation. That is it. Rant over, back to the acceptance of it all, and then the integration. Once you have gone into the darkness, discovered the parts of the self that are lost and fragmented there, and integrated them back into the self, you become complete in yourself. Then you are complete in a state of acceptance, existing within the light. Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? Did you see that thing on the news? No. You don't care that this, that, and the other's going on. Don't mind. Doesn't affect me. What affects me is what I choose to focus upon. If the whole world is falling down, if there is only darkness all around, I'm still light. I'm still standing. That's it. I'm not going to try and change or control anybody else's viewpoint. I've tried that. It doesn't work. I learn incredibly quickly. Ego. There you go. That's my ego. And by allowing it that sense of self, I'm the mighty ego. Yes, well done, ego. Keep doing the job. Keep doing what you're doing. Pat on the back. Well done. Carry on. Then it's on side. Then it's on team. It's being aware. Just as being aware when it wants to be praised and worshipped and admired. Being aware when it brings up potential desires to control through the separation or the desire to restrict situational experiences to keep you safe. I don't know the first thing about law, but I understand reality on a fundamental level that is deeper than many people even venture into. Therefore, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, so say I, and so it is. Very powerful video as always. I do go on a explorational rant. Time is nearly expired. The universe has come to completion and I'm still speaking. I love it. It's who I am and it's what I'm here to do. Give me a topic of conversation, give me an hour, and I will share every single perception and interpretation of it that I have had access to, and I wish to experience yours too. So please, please, please drop me a comment below. If you are still watching this, well done. Congratulations. You've dedicated almost an hour to yourself and the expansion and evolution of not only yourself, but everybody else. Drop me a comment below. Let me know what it is that you would like to have covered in today's or next week's, next Saturday's installment, and it shall be done. Before we come to completion on today, take a moment. Take a moment to just breathe with me, to feel me, to see me, to hear me, and to realise that I am but an external aspect of you. the way I'm able to stay calm in a otherwise chaotic experience of reality is simply through the acceptance that the universe is chaos. And we have found harmony, a place of tranquility within it, to experience even a single moment of now, being able to experience the experience itself. Oh, what a joy, what a gift to behold. Truly, thank you for everything you do. Now and forever, you and I, we are in this together, like it or not. United as one people on this one earth, governed by one love, united we stand, and together we rise. Grand rising, all you beautiful, beautiful souls. Thank you, eternally and unconditionally. I love you. Namaste.